Hi, good morning, third grade. This is the lesson for Thursday, April 16th. And I'm looking at the phase of the moon. It's a last quarter moon tonight. And you can see about 31%, or 32 almost, percent of the moon, of the face of the moon tonight. It is going to be a nice warm day. And I'm excited about that. I'm going to definitely get out and ride my bike today. I hope you are too. The big news for today is that Mrs. Wehunt is going to meet us for our Google Hangout at 10:30. So she's going to do a library lesson with us at 10:30. I'm super excited about that. I'm happy to see Miss Wehunt. I know you guys are too. We are going to do some math and some language arts and some handwriting today. Okay? So, and I think you're going to like the language arts. I hope you are. It's a little writing, but it's some drawing too, and a little bit of fun research on the internet. So I think you're going to like it. We are on lesson 9-6 today for math. And lesson 9-6 is called Working with a Broken Calculator. So we're going to have to solve some problems, not be able to use certain calculator keys, like certain numbers or certain functions on a calculator. So you're going to need your math workbook for today, as well as the front and back of the 9-6 sheet that I put in the week 3 file folder. So let's go ahead and talk about the lesson today, all right? We're going to start on page 289. And then, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to help you with that, get started with that page. I'm going to give you some hints, some things you can do, and then I'm going to want you to add some problems of your own. And then you're going to do page 290 on your own. That's the Matchbox page, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and open up our math books to 289. And you can see the heading, Working with a Broken Calculator, at the top of the page. And I'm going to read the math message. You can read it along with me if you have your workbook open. It says, pretend that your calculator is broken. The addition key, that's the plus sign, and the number 8 key are not working. Think about how you could use your broken calculator to make the number 18. That means when we're making number models, we can't use the plus sign, so we can't write addition sentences, and we can't use the number 8 in our problem, okay? In the name collection box, that's this, write at least 5 different names for 18 that do not use the addition key or the number 8 key. You can use 2 operations, subtraction, multiplication, division, and at least one of the names. So one of our number models is going to have 2 functions. The other number models just need to have 1 function, but we know the function's not going to be addition because the number key is broken, and none of the number models are going to have the number 8 because that number key is broken too. So I want to think of ways I can write number models that equal 18 without using the plus key or the number 8. So this is what I came up with when I was thinking about it. And you can use my problems, but I want you to come up with some of your own problems too. So I know I can use multiplication, I know I can use division, and I know I can use subtraction. And anything I write just has to have equal, it has to be total 18, or equal 18, I should say. All right, so I know 6 times 3 is 18, so that could be a number model I write in my name collection box, because it's not using the plus key and it's not using the 8 key. For division, I could use 36 divided by 2 because that equals 18, and it's not using an 8 or a plus sign. And then down here, I can use 24 minus 6, and I put that in parentheses so you knew that part comes first, and then times 1. Or if I wouldn't use parentheses, I would have to do the addition sign, the multiplication problem first. So if I did it that way, but without using the keys, I could write 24 times 1, because multiplication always comes before subtraction, if there's no parentheses present, minus 6. And that equals 18, because 24 times 1 is 24, minus 6 is 18. Okay? All right, I hope you have fun coming up with more names for 18. Remember, one of the problems has to have 2 operations, like this one, okay? All right. And you're going to come up with 5 different names. I gave you 3, so if you want to write my 3, that's great, but you need to write 5 more, okay? All right, let me look at the Matchbox page and just see. Looks like number 2 might be a little tricky. Everything else looks pretty straightforward. You're going to need a ruler for the number 1 problem, and you can use the ruler on the side of the pattern block template I sent home with you. Remember the green pattern block template? You can use that ruler. Let's read number 2 together. There are 8 tulips. Tanya puts 2/8 of the tulips in each bouquet of flowers. How many bouquets can she make? So if I were you, I would draw a diagram and I would make 8 flowers. I'm going to use X's for my flowers. You can use circles, whatever you like. It's easy to read. I'm drawing 8 X's right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So I'm drawing 8 X's because it says there are 8 tulips. And then it says she puts 2/8 of the tulips into each bouquet of flowers. So I'm going to circle 2 out of the 8 each time. And can you see how many 2/8 are? There's 2/8, there's 2/8, there's 2/8, and there's 2/8, okay? How many bouquets can she make? Let's count the groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is actually a division problem. Remember I told you that we can use fractions and division are related. We talked about that just a little bit. But so 2/8 of the flowers in groups are 4 groups. So that means 8 divided into groups of 2 equals 4 groups. Okay? That's number 2 on your Mathbox page. All right. Sounds great. I will tell you today there is a challenge worksheet. It is optional. That's the packing apples. And I'm giving you a sentence starter for that because it is pretty challenging, okay? So let me just read that. If you want to do it, I encourage you to do it. It is challenging though, and it is optional. So for this one, you're going to pretend the division key is broken, so you can't divide. You pretend the division key on your calculator is broken. You solve the problem using other keys on your calculator. Emma picks 176 apples to sell at the farmer's market. So she has a total of 176 apples. She packs them into boxes that hold 16 apples each. How many boxes does she need to take all of her apples to the market? Now, if we could use the division key on your calculator, it'd be pretty simple. You would just write 176 divided by 16 because there's groups of 16, and you'd see how many boxes or how many groups there are in 176 apples, how many groups of 16 there are, I should say. But you can't do that. So we're going to skip count backwards by subtracting groups of 16. And you're going to have to see how many groups of 16 you subtracted, and that will give you the answer to the division problem. So this is a pretty challenging page, like I said. So your sentence starter is, I skip counted back from 176 to 0. I counted back by 16, by groups of 16. Blank times. So you have to count how many times you subtracted 16 to get from 176 to 0. And I just wrote, you're going to have to write more number models than this, but I got you started. 176 minus 16 equals. And then you're going to take that number and put it here and write that number minus 16 equals. And you're going to keep going back until you get to 0. And you're going to circle all the times you wrote minus 16. And the number of times you counted back by 16 tells you the answer to the problem, gives you the number of boxes of apples, okay? So I will put this sentence starter in the Google Classroom. I'll put a picture of my page so you can use that to help you if you want to try this. I encourage you to try it because it's good for your brain. All right, the last one you're going to do is your home link. And the home link is really similar to what we did in the workbook today. It's just another broken calculator problem. It looks like this time you're going to have a pancake breakfast at school. There's 180 eggs. The eggs come in cartons of 12 because we know eggs come in a dozen. And you have to figure out how many cartons they need. You want to use your calculator to solve the problem, but the plus and division keys are broken. So it looks like it's going to be another subtraction. So help Lucy find a way to use her broken calculator to solve the problem. All right? And that answer key will also be in the Google Classroom for when you're done and you want to check your work, okay? Please turn in both of your workbook pages to me from your math book. I want to see both workbook pages. Please, if you do the enrichment, I'd like you to see that. And I'd like to see everybody's home link. So that's 3 math pages I need to see from you today. I'm also going to give you a writing project to do today. And it's just to get us ready for tomorrow. So tomorrow, we are going to read an expository text called Wildfires. And it talks about wildfires, and it talks about the teams of people who work together to control wildfires. Maybe put them out if they need to be put out, or control them if it's what's called a controlled burn. That's when they do it on purpose, which, believe it or not, they actually do. So we're going to learn about wildfires in the story tomorrow, but to get ready for that, I want you to do a little project for me. Okay? I'm going to hold up the sign, and this will be also in your assignments. I want you to use the internet to research wildfires. Okay? I want you to find pictures of wildfires before and after. So I want you to find pictures on the internet of what a forest looks like before a wildfire and after a wildfire. All right, so you're going to use the internet. You're going to research wildfires. You're going to find photographs of how a forest looks after a wildfire, and it's good to see, and you know what they look like before, but it's good to see those pictures too. Sometimes on the internet they'll show you before and after pictures. I also know there's a before and after picture in this wildfire story that we're going to read tomorrow. All right, when you're done, I want you to get a piece of paper, and I would like you to use colors too and a pencil, because you have to write some sentences as well. So now I want you to draw a before and after poster. And then I want you to list 3 ways wildfires change the land. So tell me 3 ways that the forest looks different or is different after a wildfire. So those 3 sentences you need to write. So you're going to take a piece of paper, fold it in half, and I'd like you to draw and label a picture of a forest before a wildfire. Tell me all the things you see in the forest, like trees with leaves, trees with bark, maybe small animals, maybe small plants that grow into the trees, and how a forest looks after a wildfire. What happens to the trees and the leaves and the other plants and the animals? Where are they? Do they have to run away? Okay, so picture before, picture after. Please use color. It makes it look so nice. Use labels, and don't forget, write 3 sentences telling me ways wildfires change the land. Okay? I would love to see your poster, so turn that into me, as well as your sentences. You can write the sentences on the back of your piece of paper, or you can write them, you can include them in the picture somehow if you'd like to do that, okay? All right, the last thing you're going to do with me today is some handwriting, okay? Remember last week we were talking about tow truck letters? Well, we're going to continue with tow truck letters today. So we said letters like O, W, B, and V are called tow truck letters because when we connect them to the next letter in a cursive word, they don't touch the ground. So we practiced O and W last week, and today we're going to practice B and V. So you're going to need your cursive workbook, Handwriting Without Tears, and you're going to work on page 50, 51, those are the B pages, 52 and 53, those are the V pages. So if you'd like to watch, I'm going to draw a B, lowercase and then capital, and a V, lowercase and then capital, okay? So the the lowercase cursive B starts off looking like an L. So you just make that nice tall letter with a back flip, come back down, you're going to go up in the air to connect to the next letter. And it needs to do that because if you didn't go up in the air, it would look like an L. Okay? The cursive V starts up in the air, comes down to the ground, goes back up the air, connects to the next letter. Same thing, if you went back down to the ground here, it would look like a U. So we don't go back down to the ground, okay? Capital B, I call this a little shepherd's hook. You do the little hook, go down the rope, slide back up the rope, make the top of your B and the bottom of your B. It does not need to connect to the next letter in the word. And the capital V, it just looks a lot like the lowercase v. It's just tall. And it does not connect to the next letter in the word either, okay? All right, so if I wrote a word, let me think. Bella, your name starts with B. I'm going to write Bella. If I write Bella, it'd be capital B, no connect it to the next letter. E, L, L, A. Okay? If I wrote a lowercase word with a B, I'd write it like this. Let's write bell. Like we ring a bell. B, E, L, L. All right? Notice how I didn't go back down to the ground when I did my B. Let me write a V word now. I'm going to write the word very. Oh, let's write the capital V first. We have a V in our class. Do you know who it is? That's right, it's Victor. Okay, so I'm going to write Victor's name first, the capital V. So it's capital V, I, C, T, O, R. There's Victor's name with a capital V. Notice it doesn't connect to the next letter. And if I write a short word like very with a lowercase v, it's V, E, R, Y. And notice I don't bring the V back down to the ground. It goes right into the E. See that connection right there? All right, you guys. I will see you at 10:30. I'm so excited. I can't wait to hear what Mrs. Weehunt is going to do with us or which story she's going to read. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.